The Nova Guest List Podcast.
With Kieran McGuinness.
The very best in indie, alternative and homegrown music from the seriously addictive Radio Nova.
Yeah, that's the brilliant Neil Dexter on Radio Nova, one of the great showcasing artists at Ireland Music Week this week. If you know about Ireland Music Week, it's a brilliant kind of a showcase festival. It kind of showcases great Irish acts to international industry and all this kind of stuff. And also to the Irish music scene, they get to watch each other, who's coming up, and also, you know, the audience. So you can get tickets for all the events. It's 6 stages across 3 Dublin City Centre venues, which is the Grand Social, the brilliant Workman's Club upstairs and downstairs, and Tengu. I think it's Tengu, but anyway, I'll ask Angela Dorgan, the organiser of Ireland Music Week 2023, because we're very, very lucky to have a chat with you. How are you doing, Angela?
I'm good. Barring last minute nerves, all good.
Yeah, so this is the kind of the calm before the storm. I presume that all the people have booked that are coming over, and you can just sit back now and just, you know, wear shades and look at Excel spreadsheets until...
Just look at Excel. Well, it's all done. We have a brilliant team in here, as you know. So yeah, it's just now waiting for it all to kick off and enjoy it as much as everybody else does, hopefully.
Yeah, so I mean, for people who don't know, Ireland Music Week kind of started 21 years ago as Hard Working Class Heroes. 21 years is unbelievable. It's amazing. About 15 years ago, I played it with De Laurentiis. I think we did it like 4 times and it was always great fun. So I suppose, what's the ideal behind it?
So the ideal is, First Music Contact is our company, and we are funded by the Arts Council to develop supports for professionalising musicians. So Ireland Music Week sits in the middle of a talent pipeline of those supports. So once you've developed a local following, you're maybe building your national following, and your plans are to jump off into international potential. Maybe you're seeing numbers on your Spotify or whatever that, there's a whole big chunk of people in Germany really like us, or we're getting loads of listens from Chicago, or, whatever it is. So about 600, in fact, 599 artists applied this year.
Wow.
And out of those, then the 50 showcasing artists who you'll be able to see on Thursday and Friday night were selected by a panel of experts. So it's 42 judges, 7 of them Irish, and the rest of the 35 international. So global big boys and girls with big boy and girl jobs in the global music industry. And they select the showcasing artists, and then we, with support from Culture Ireland, bring up to, I think we have 91 international buyers from 15 countries attending Ireland Music Week next week.
Wow.
And then on top of that, all of the domestic buyers, all the labels and festivals and agents who work here, and then the same abroad. So it's a really good way on home soil in front of home crowds for our Irish artists, the next 50 kind of export ready, to be seen at their very best in front of international buyers.
So before we get into this year, you've answered a couple of my questions there, so I won't do those ones. But before we get into this year's artists, I mean, there must have been a couple of like incredible kind of stories that have come out of Ireland Music Week and Hard Working Class Heroes. I mean, Hozier, I remember one year that he played and like you couldn't get in, that there was queues around, I think it was the Button Factory, queues around the street for that. I remember, I think there was Little Green Cars, I think as well, which just had this incredible crowd at one point. So, I mean, you see it from the other end. So what have been the massive successes, I suppose, or some massive successes that have come out of Ireland Music Week? I
mean, you've hit the nail on the head. For me, like the motivation, like Hard Working Class Heroes started as a night in the Project Arts Centre, and it was the brainchild of Brian Carroll. And his motivation was that he felt not enough Irish acts were being booked on festival lineups here, and he wanted to create a festival that showcased the best talent. First Music Contact joined him in year 2, so 20 years ago, and developed the conference element. So for us, education, teaching, networking is where we come in. So an artist has their artistic ability. Our job is to help them with their commercial ambition for that artistic ability. So since then, I mean, you've had everybody from, as you say, Hozier in 2023, Fontaine's DC, Pillow Queens, Villagers, Denise Chila, like a whole raft. Like really, if you're looking around in the Irish music industry now, at some stage over the last 20 years, they'll have showcased at Ireland Music Week, or we'll have worked with them, bringing them to other international events under Music from Ireland. So that's the reason it's so successful now, is because those successes have gone out around the world and turned the eyes of the industry towards Ireland, and we're just benefiting from that. So, so we put the delegates to work, and part of that is that they get to meet the showcasing artists and their teams, and spend some time with them and get to know what their stories are. So as they leave, they bring our stories with them. So the kind of proof is in the better you do each year, the more the bands rise to the challenge. And, I remember you guys playing it like it was yesterday. It's so weird. Like, it doesn't feel like 20 years. But it's the success of the event is because our artists are so, so good and so, so talented.
Well, 15 years ago. Don't put me down for 20. No, I'm not taking that. Look, so it's irelandmusicweek.com to go and get tickets to see the showcases that are on. There's conferences on as well. It's just a fantastically packed lineup. There's so many acts. I'm not going to ask you to tell us your favourites or anything like that, because that wouldn't be fair. But what would you suggest for someone? How do they navigate it? What does a music fan, how do they do it? So,
first of all, I would love you to give yourself the challenge of seeing all 50 acts. And if you can prove to us you've seen all 50, we'll give you a free ticket for next year, because that is true dedication. The other thing is, we have such a fantastic, rich heritage in Ireland for supporting our own artists. So it's a brilliant week for, the music lovers who we know are out there to kind of get the bragging rights in, going, you may hear of so-and-so in 2 years' time, but I saw them 2 years ago at Ireland Music Week. But we make it very easy. We've bunched the venues together. So if you want to get into the 3 floors in Workman's, it's €12. And if you want to go and see the bands in the Grand Social in Tengu, we've bunched them together as €12. So we've made it really easy. We've made it really cheap, because what we want is the 30 minutes on stage for the 50 showcasing acts is the best possible vibe it can be, because that's what will ignite the 90 plus guests that will be going out to see them.
Now look, it's a great festival, it's a great event, always a great day in the calendar as well. Angela Dorgan from Irish Music Week, thank you so much for chatting to us tonight.
Thank you.
Let's play something great by Republic of Loose. They are one of the first acts to play 21 years ago. Here's Steady Song on Nova.
The Nova Guest List Podcast with Kieran McGuinness. The very best in indie, alternative and homegrown music from the seriously addictive Radio Nova.